Before we start this, I want to say anyone who has to work outside to get to where they're trying to go, I always respect it. But these girls who use outside work as a means of this is how I'll be successful, I don't respect them, especially ones who had the opportunity to make different decisions in order to be in better positions, but they still said, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna still sell this cat and try and get into the best position possible. And that's what Alexis Sky has done. So we're gonna talk about her on today because I ain't got no respect for no woman who sit up here and use God as a way to get ahead in life. What's up, my friends? And welcome back once again to the Just Case and Bread. I'm your homegirl, I'm your tia, I'm your prima, I'm your cousin, I'm your friend, I'm whatever you need me to be down here at the Just Case and Bread. If you are new to the channel, welcome on into the neighborhood. See, what we like to do down here is talk about topics that have a lot to do with us because people put their shit on the internet and they be asking us to talk about them. So we do that. So we like, shoot, come on over here, let's talk about you. Because that's what you wanted, ain't it? That's what you wanted. And if that's your thing, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you are already a member of the neighborhood. What's up? Hello. Alexis Sky. If you don't know who Alexis Sky is, she is the baby mom to Fetty Wap. Alexis Sky real name is Anastasia, and she was born in 1994 and has been known as a reality TV personality, which for real, she just an Instagram model who got her claim to fame by being really pretty. Her rise to fame began in 2016 when she ended up dating Rap. Will go crazy over her baby daddy, but Alexis Sky had him too. And in 2018, they welcomed a child into this world together. What was kind of scary was Alexis gave birth to her baby 3 months premature. Her baby was born at 1 pound. And a lot of speculation was had because people were saying she was in the streets. She was in the clubs just like Krishan Rock and she was having her fun. So how is it that your child comes out with a developmental delay when you're only 25 and you have a healthy body? There were a lot of people fighting for her in the comments saying, oh, this happened to my sister, my cousin, my aunt. But it's a difference when it happens to someone who's innocent and someone who's been out in the streets making it happen, if you know what I mean. Initially, there was speculation on whether Fetty Wap was Alexis' baby daddy, but he was the dad who stepped up and that all got squashed. Since then, Alexis has been very diligent and very consistent with making sure her daughter is not behind. In fact, when I see her daughter, I'm like, oh my gosh, Miss Grace is on her thing. She always looks like a cute little girl and she stays within her age and she acts like a kid. How we got a lot of these social media stars or celebrities who let their girls act like they so damn grown. But seeing Alexis and how she treats her baby, it's so cute. I can respect her for that. And I also hope that Krishan starts to take some notes from Alexis because when you have a baby and you already know that they have developmental needs, you need to hop on that quick, fast, and in a hurry. Now, beyond how she has taken care of her daughter in her stint on reality TV, Alexis had gotten into a relationship with none other than Asake. And Asake is a Nigerian artist who is Muslim. When she got with him, she ended up changing a lot of things about herself. She said, you know what? I ain't about to be online showing no type of skin anymore. I'm going to go ahead and submit my life to Christ.
So I had to like address it, because it's been like a year now. I kind of just been quiet about it.
Okay.
I think when I did start my spiritual journey, I was going through like an identity crisis or like I really didn't know what was going on. And the person I was dealing with, just the people I had around me kind of was in my ear. I'm not ashamed that I found God because I love God.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I had people around me just telling me that I had to be a certain way and I was a little confused on what direction to take.
Okay.
And I think just being vulnerable, I kind of just was like, okay, let me just change. And I really wasn't ready to make to those decisions because at the end of the day, this is how I started my life. This is how, I put food on my table for my kid. So to just make a drastic change and expect things to just, I know God, you got to trust God's timing, but I'm a single mother. So at the end of the day, I still got to make ends meet. I'm not saying I chose money over God, but I wasn't fully ready to do certain things, and God knows my heart.
Jesus Christ, you are the only one because, this man, he got a lot of money. Asake, he getting paid. So I want to make sure in order to get paid by him, I submit to you because he say he religious. And since he say he religious, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I am religion. Little did Alexis know, he's not a Christian. He's a Muslim. So the difference in beliefs was extreme.
Chloe Bailey, come to the front. India Love, come to the front. I don't know if these y'all first West African men, but just stay prayed up. Just stay prayed up because them men are built different, okay? They are built different on the west side of Africa. They are built different. So, and you know what's great? You're going to have a blast. You're going to have a ball. It's going to give. It's definitely going to give. But just stay safe. Stay prayed up. Because them niggas is different. They going to have a trick for your ass. For real. They're gonna have a trick. But you're gonna have fun though.
I know dating Nigerian men is a thing right now because they spoil and they provide, but you need to have a heart of a warrior. Yeah. You need to be able to endure some type of embarrassment. Yeah. Because girl. Anyways, most of you are dealing with embarrassment and have a heart of a warrior for that dust bunny that only provides dust and crumbs. So I'm pretty sure you're ready to handle a Nigerian man. Yeah.
Things I wish I knew before dating a Nigerian man. First things first, I'm gonna say you need tough skin. Like, their jokes are not funny because most of the time you're the butt of the joke. But if you can learn how to have tough skin and hit him back with the same energy, you'll be fine. Secondly, his friends are not your friends. No matter how nice they are to you, no matter how many times they tell you make him so happy, girl, they are not your friends, okay? Like, they are more likely to show him another hand to be with. So just keep that in mind. Don't be nice to everyone. I'd say that they're very intentional. So if a Nigerian man is not giving you actions and just words, you really know what's up. Their actions really speak louder than their words, girl. The last thing I'd say is they're the ask and you shall receive type. So with a Nigerian man, if you don't tell him directly, babe, I want 2, 3, 4, 5, he's not going to be able to read it. That's not it.
Plus, Asake is the type of Nigerian artist or Nigerian man who gonna be out here messing with these American women, but he's not really going to marry them. I'm gonna call it how I see it. I don't think that he gonna do none of that. Because guess who he with now? India Love. And guess what India Love is doing too? Oh, I feel like now I want to actually focus on my personality.
I was a girl that just showed off her body a lot, but like I really don't like that. I turned myself around and now I want to be modest. Now I want to be the girl who like it's really about the inside and not the outside. Like that got me so far. Don't get me wrong, and I do appreciate it, and I am blessed for that. But like, I know that you get further with wisdom. You get further with being helpful and like, a servant to others. You get further by having a pure heart.
And focus on who I really am. The reason why it irritates me about these women is because they sold every young girl a dream that if you look the prettiest, if you were the one who was the baddest, who could get in front of the men with the most money, then you would have a lifestyle that was set. You didn't have to go to school. You didn't have to have a skill. You didn't have to have any education, any intelligence to you. All you had to do was be pretty, lay on your back, have a baby, get a check, and that's all you needed in life, and you'd be successful. But now they want to come around and talk about, oh no, I'm ready to change my life and turn it over to God. But let's also clean up what the fuck you bitches did. Let's also talk about the fact that y'all was using whatever you could, manipulating your circumstances and environment in order to have success. Let's talk about that with these girls instead of just going straight on to, oh, now I'm a child of God, now I'm a child of Christ. And that's what Alexis did, and it makes me mad. Oh, it makes me so irritated because when the world don't work out for them, that's when they want to start submitting to God and being like, God, what would you have for me? And I understand there should be a certain grace given to people and that God gives grace, but I ain't God and I ain't Jesus and I don't give. You should not be selling women these dreams of fame and fortune and luxury just to turn around and be like, oh, none of that shit worked, but this will. It's like a lottery ticket that they're playing. They're like, oh, will this work? Okay, but not staying committed to nothing. And now they want to turn to God and be like, God, are you going to give me the life of my dreams? Because it didn't work out with none of these dudes. Why should he? There was no sacrifice that none of these girls made when it came to God, period. And now they want to change their mind. So Alexis Sky really got on my nerves when she got on Jamal Bryant's podcast. And another thing about Jamal Bryant, now the pastor, that's different. He got a church full of people who probably drink whiskey on their way in there, got a little mimosa while they sitting in the church pews. To see him still Shannon Sharp's exact setup, the thumbnails look the same. The way the podcast is set up looks the same. It's not original. And once he started indulging in marijuana and talking about he was going to sell it on behalf of the Lord, I said, now, all right. See, one thing I do say, I'm not no button-up turtleneck Christian woman. I'm not none of that. And the Lord knows that I serve him and I really, really ask him and move through whatever he asks me to do. I know that there's a certain level of discipline and there's certain things I can and cannot do if I'm going to serve God and do this. You feel me? So I'm not saying I'm the perfect Christian woman. Now, I'm somebody who loves God. And when the resurrection happens, I think the Lord gonna leave me down here to start killing other people who wants to talk against him or they want to execute people who believe in him, I think the Lord gonna leave me to wage war on whom I shall based off of what he has directed me to. So I ain't saying I'm this button-up Christian, but what I am saying is I do recognize when some shit ain't sitting straight, and how Jamal Bryant was sitting up there really esteeming this girl with the dumb shit she was saying irritated me. Like I said, I get it when people really are making a change for God, and it's not gonna be no clean change. It's not gonna be, I go from being in the streets to now I'm this perfect Christian, now I'm do this. I don't believe that's real. But what I do believe is real is when someone makes a change and they choose God, and even when they mess up, they still don't leave God. They still don't be like, oh, well, God doesn't want to talk to me, so let me stop praying. Let me stop doing this. They're like, you know what, God, I'm still messing up, but Lord, here I am, because I still want to have a relationship with you. You know why I say that? Because when it comes to relationships with normal people, you don't try to be perfect to be with your man or your woman or your mom or your sister or your best friend. You don't try to be perfect. You're just like, hey, I hope you understand that I'm really going through this, but I want to be here with you because I love you. And that's the exact thing that God asked for. So that's how I'm coming with it. But anyway, I'm gonna calm down because I am not gonna get mad in this video. Let's tune in.
What? Can you repeat that?
How heavy has it been for people trying to critique? Is this real? Is this for show?
It was never fake. My encounter with God was real. I was just really just in a space where I was dating somebody, and I'm not going to say any names, and I'm thankful for this person because it was never that I never believed in God. I just wasn't really close to him. And it was somebody that was in my life that had an influence. And I was so focused on being a wife and being loved on and being wanted that I was just like, well, I have to change who I am in order for this person to accept me. And I was more so focused on that versus my walk with God. I was doing it more for what that person wanted. So I'm like, well, maybe if I change my image on Instagram or I change how I am, then I'll be his wife or I'll do this. So it was more so like, Alexis, are you ready for this? But I really wasn't ready. And it's not saying that I wasn't ready to walk with God. It's just I wasn't doing it the right way. I was more so doing it for somebody else. And so it just happened overnight. So next thing I'm on the internet telling the world that I stopped doing that. But this is who Alexis really was. And I was changing myself for somebody else and not for me.
So what that tells me is she sat up here, she changed her whole image, was saying that she wasn't going to be naked anymore, everything for a sake. And she's telling us, I don't want to not be a whore. I like being naked online. I like men lusting over me. I like to be a Jezebel. That's what I want to do. So changing for a man ain't what I want. And it surprises me that Jamal is just sitting there like, oh, right.
And that person had a major impact. And I don't regret it because that was what was supposed to happen. But just coming from, I used to dance. I've been in trafficking and just the lifestyle that I've came from, that's all I know. So people can't fault me.
By her own decisions. Like, don't get it twisted. Alexis is telling us, oh, it was a drug. I was a stripper and then I got sex trafficked, but she had different options. As the interview goes on, we learn that she comes from a line of nurses and family and people who told her different. She chose to go out here and be a hoe. It wasn't life pushed her into it. She chose that. So I don't feel sorry for the bitch.
For being on the internet, showing this or doing this or having an OnlyFans or doing that, because that's all I was taught. I never went to college. I don't know what it's like to have a degree. So my life is make fast money. So that's all I know how to go back to. Mm-hmm. And even during my journey, it was almost like I'm here. I started thinking of other ways I can make money in the right way. So I came out with a journal and they were saying I'm profiting from God. And I'm like, this doesn't make no sense.
Right.
How am I profiting from God when I just gave up thousands of dollars that I was making per month, hundreds of thousands?
Right.
You sound stupid, Alexis. How am I profiting? Because if you sit up here and all of a sudden you're this newborn Christian and you want to make a journal or some sort of a study guide telling people how to walk with God and how to do it right, you don't got no skin in the game. You ain't got no experience. You ain't got no history. You ain't got no survival stories. Your ass ain't got no fucking testimony. You just sitting up here on a cash grab because you can't show your ass anymore. And she wanted people to applaud her because she wasn't on OnlyFans anymore. Get back on OnlyFans then, girl. If that is so important to you, shit. Oh, I hate women like this.
To literally surrender to him. And as
you didn't want to surrender to God, because if you did, you wouldn't be sitting up here doing this whole big ass sob story. When it comes to serving God and then serving people and really being an example of God and like what God wants for us and how God wants us to be there for other people, you don't got to talk about it. You just do it. You just do it. And then you know what you do? You say, you know what, Lord, this is what you said for me to do, God. I'm going to do it because you have blessed me to be able to make these journals for people, to be able to make these inspirational books for people, to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? You're thanking God that he has given you that type of thing inside of you. You're not sitting up here being like, who's going to celebrate me? Who's going to give me my accolades? You don't need none of that. If it's really for God.
Each day got on, I'm like, okay, whether I was doing this for this man, I actually was getting closer and closer. So even though I was doing it for him, I was getting closer to God, and everything was starting to make sense to me. I started understanding this is who I'm supposed to be. I have a calling on my life to help women like me. Yes. Help women that come from battered situations or that are in the nightlife that think that they're not worthy enough to be this. This is what God wants me to be, a vessel to these women. But it's not helping when I have 5.6 million followers attacking me. Everything I do, it's like, this is not godly enough, or you're not a Christian. So I'm like, okay, this is like making no sense. I might as well go back to doing what I was doing because do y'all like me doing this or not? So at this point, it just became a confusion. Like, it was good enough for the internet. Nothing was good enough for him. He ended up leaving me in the midst of me changing. And I'm like, promised to stay here and have my back financially because you've given up everything. And he left me. So I'm,
did y'all hear that? You promised to have my back, like financially, and I given up everything to be with you. That means you did not really do any of this for God. She didn't do any of her changing or her wanting to be a better woman, to make herself into a wife in order to serve God and say, God, this is who I am, Lord. If you will bless who I am as a woman right now, God, I really appreciate it. No, she said, how much you say you got on it, Asake? Well, you know what? Sock it to me, motherfucker. Hey, Lord, he said that he got this on it. So you know what? I think I want to go ahead and be a Christian. But now he done left you, Alexis. And now what? Now you're sitting up here trying to rebrand yourself into this saved woman. And everything she's talking about is not saying that she really opened her eyes to God. And he was the person who kind of just popped it open. And she was like, oh, this is what God's like. No. She keeps on connecting everything to this relationship. And let me say this. I have been in situations where I thought to myself, okay, well, let me be more buttoned up. I ain't going to say that I ever thought to myself, let me believe in God for a man. But I have thought to myself, let me stop cussing, stop smoking, stop drinking, stop being, who I am in order for a man to like me, because men would talk to me and they'd be like, yeah, I like that you like God, but I doubt if that's how God wants you to act. So I really don't want to be with you. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, well, let me go ahead and tame myself down a little bit. Then one day I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm sorry, but this is who I am, and I still serve the Lord, and I still do what is by the Bible, but I'm not no perfect woman, and I'm not going to sit up here and try to be no perfect woman because it's just not my stilo. But I'm going to respect myself. I'm going to respect people, and I'm still going to carry on the right principles. You feel me? And that's when I just had I'm okay with who I am. I'm okay with what I look like when it comes to God and me. I had that type of awakening, and I was expecting that from Alexis. I was expecting her to say, oh, Asake made me feel like this, but you know what? I said, okay, I'm going to do this. Then I started to realize, wow, this is really nice to be over on this side with God. I do like the peace that I feel from God. I do like how God is leading my life. So whether me and Du worked out, I was like, dang, this is still cool because look at me and God. No. She ain't saying none of that. None of it.
Like, it was more so I was like in fear. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to continue to live this lifestyle that I was living? I was more so living in fear and not having faith in God.
Wow.
And I didn't know what faith was, because if I had the faith, I would have continued to my journey. That was about, I guess, 2 years ago now.
Yep.
In those 2 years, it's just been so many different, me. Nobody could pay me to do it again.
Yeah.
That's when I think you just wiped me clean and everywhere. And it just was like, listen, you want to keep going back? You want to keep doing this? I'm going to show you.
Yeah, the public transformation of revival that's taking place is not in a corner. It's happening in broad daylight in front of the world. The same kind of pushback happened with Justin Bieber. Same kind of pushback happened with Black China. And I'm trying to figure out how the church is the only army that kills its own soldiers.
I don't know. And it made me stop even going to church. I stopped going to church, stopped reading the word for a while. And then God got my attention. God's never going to stop getting my attention. I know that he'll show me in different ways, but it was to the point where I was like, well, I'm not even Christian anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because if this is what Christian feels like, I don't want to be a part of that.
Because you a weak ass bitch. You weak. 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 No one really is celebrating or supporting me. In the sense, no one's supporting me. I feel like I just can't even be a Christian because you a weak ass bitch who I should slap. Because why are you telling us about how hard it is for you to be a Christian now that people are telling you that they don't feel like you're a Christian? And Jamal, why are you sitting your ass up there trying to be Shannon Sharp, the miniature fun size, talking about it's the church who hurts their own people? Or in some cases, is it people who believe in religion and believe in relationship with God and the statutes and the values and respect God, and they're calling out somebody who really don't? Who really is just doing this for a man? And why can't you say that? Damn. Ugh.
And it's like, if y'all can't accept me, then who is?
Nobody, girl. Go to hell.
That was not currently.
No, I got it.
But I kind of not ashamed, but scared to go to church because it's like I feel like everybody's gonna be looking at me like she was doing this and she was doing that. So I just kind of my relationship with God now private.
Yes.
Because and God doesn't want me to not speak on him because I still speak on it. I just learned that accountability is kind of, and so it's not what you do, it's how you do it. I think that's what I learned from everything. Just keeping my walk private. It's not for everybody to understand.
No,
but I do think that it's important for people to understand that you can be who you are, like change for nobody. And a journey.
Yeah.
Might wake up and make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. It doesn't mean that the next few months that's what my life is going to be.
Yeah. Every day for you to be able to sojourn. I want to ask you, what has been the most shocking thing that has occurred to you since being a believer on this walk?
Right now, it's honestly, I think I'm just I'm in a blur.
Yeah.
I see, like I flit. I'm prepared for it.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're in the 9th day of 2025. So 2024 has been like this year for me.
Yeah.
So I think that was the most shocking. I think God kind of a lot of things for me financially, just the people. And it's kind of you're like you empty, but I'm really not empty.
Yeah.
You might be thinking to yourself, why is this so choppy like that? I had to cut out the dead air because every little phrase, she was pausing for 2-3 seconds and it just was so laggy. She'd be like, I feel like what the Lord. When I was in, and it's so, and I was like, oh, bitch, you ain't really got no real answer. He's asking you what really changed your life. I'll tell you what changed my life. I'll never forget when Quinn died. And I know I talk about this a lot, but it's because it's the only thing that I can compare it to and I can have actual skin in the game on. You feel me? I remember Quinn died. My sister, Osea, remember this. Osea, comment if you remember this. She said she was mad at God and she just didn't know if she believed in God because not only have I lost my son, my eldest sister, Stella, my twin, who I post on my YouTube, she also lost one of her kids as well. So my sister, Osea, she's always been there for both of us because it's only us three as the sisters. And she was like, oh, I'm so mad at God. God, why again? I don't know if I believe in God. And I told her, I don't know if we should say that. I don't think we should say that. I don't think that God is doing this to punish us or anything like that. I'm not sure what's happening, but I don't think, he's doing that. My sister was like, fuck you, you dumb. And she walked out. So I prayed. I said, God, if you make me feel like you're sitting right here next to me, God, like you actually are sitting right here, Lord, I will never turn my face from you. I just told him, like, please make me feel that way. It felt like my bed sunk in and like God sat next to me in spirit just to say, I'm really sorry that this done happened to you. I surely don't mean to, hurt you or kill your spirit. And I'm sorry, but I'm here. You said you need me here. Guess what? I'm here. That's all I needed from God. That's my story of how I knew, like, this is God. And then the success of my lifestyle and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is God. This dummy sat up here and said, if like Pluto was Mars and algebra was math and science wasn't Britney Spears. That's how. What are you talking about, girl? Nothing. Ugh.
Yeah.
Biden was running for president. A lot of black press was shocked that he didn't do the first interview with Roland Martin or with Ebony or Essence. His very first interview was with Cardi B. Everybody was thrown off. Like, what in the world? 5 million followers. let me go in a space you'll understand. I don't know a black pastor with 5 million followers. If you were to have one conversation with an influencer, a global influencer, who would you want to have a conversation with?
I would Kim.
Kardashian? What would you ask her?
Just what life is really like. You know, everything's in glamour for her because people see everything on the positive side, but I'm sure she's human just like everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm sure she goes through.
And she said Kim Kardashian. Sorry, that cut was a little close, but she said if there was anybody that she could talk to and ask their advice of, it would be Kim Kardashian.
Heartbreaks. I'm sure she's battling stuff. I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, we see the glamour.
Yes.
Do you pray? Do you talk to God? What's your relationship like? What is like?
Yeah.
She's a mother of beautiful children, and the fame that she has, I can only. I'm at 5, but imagine what she's dealing with.
Right.
You know, she think wrong. It's now. Like, I like my peace, like being around my daughter. I don't need a group of women to make me feel whole. Like, I don't want to hear gossip.
Yeah.
And I don't sit on the phone and gossip with women.
My therapist said to me years ago, you are an introvert with an extrovert.
My new job and stuff, I do need more.
What you doing in this new job? You ain't got to say who is for.
Okay, anyway, because I'm tired of this. The video link is posted down in my description if you guys want to go ahead and watch the whole entire thing. It started to annoy me at some point, so I couldn't listen to no more of it because it was too many times in the conversation where she was saying one thing but also saying another, and Jamal never checked her on it. I do feel like he should have pushed on her to take some accountability for who she was dating, how there was a difference in religion, and ask her if she understood the difference or if this was a money grab. That's what we really need to start talking about at the end of the day, because now all of these whores, Brittany Renner, India Love, Alexis Sky, they're trying to change their lives and be like, hey man, I'm the woman of God that you wanted, but what about the women who was already down for God, already saving themselves for marriage, not showing off their bodies, not smoking, drinking, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying it in, oh, they're better than these women, but now these whores want to come in here and talk about, oh God, please bless me with the best man in the world. Bitch, why don't these other ones deserve it? But let me know what y'all think down in the comments. I have been the Just Casey brand. I am so glad that you guys tuned in. Please make sure to like the video, comment your thoughts down below, and share the video with a friend, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.